Hello, welcome back to Story Time in Year 4. We are still reading Varjak Paw. I am going to be reading to you chapter 9. It was dark as midnight in the hut. It felt close and damp, but at least inside was drier than outside. Varjak was safe at last. He relaxed, and then a low growl ripped the air. The door slammed shut behind him. "Don't move a muscle," said a gravelly voice. "You're surrounded." Varjak's claws slid out, ready to fight. "Put those claws away," a voice demanded. Varjak opened his eyes wider. It was another cat. She had spiky black and white fur and mustard-coloured eyes. She looked about the same age as him, younger than Jasmine or Julius, but harder, as if she'd seen too much of the world already. "I'm not looking for a fight," she said, "but if you don't put the claws away, I'll rip you to shreds." Something in her gravelly voice left Varjak in no doubt that she meant it. "I'm not looking for a fight either," he said, and put away his claws. The rain thudded on the roof of the hut like a nervous heartbeat. "Okay," she said, "this is my hut, my shelter. Everyone knows that. What are you doing here?" Varjak glanced at the door. "It's raining. And this was the only shelter I could find." "Can't you see it's taken?" she growled. "Isn't it big enough for the both of us?" "There's only room for one." That certainly wasn't true, but Varjak didn't think she'd appreciate him saying that. He stared silently at the soggy timber floor. A puddle had already formed around him. He couldn't face going out again. Besides, she was the only cat he'd met since leaving home. She was nothing like a Mesopotamian Blue, and she certainly wasn't like the gentleman's cats either. But there was nothing strange or scary about her, though you wouldn't want her as your enemy. Varjak tried to smile through the dark at her. She glared back at him. "What's your name?" she said gruffly. "I haven't seen you around here before." "It's Varjak Paw." "Varjak Paw," she said. "Varjak Paw? What kind of name is that? What's wrong with his name? What's yours?" "None of your business. Whose gang are you with? Who's your boss? Are you running from the Vanishings?" Varjak hesitated. What did all these questions mean? He didn't know, but he had to say something. He blurted out the first thing that came to his mind, something he didn't even believe himself. "I'm a purebred Mesopotamian Blue." "A what?" "Mesopotamian Blue. We're very rare. Special cats." "Special?" she spluttered. "I don't care how purebred you are or where you think you're from. The only thing that counts is what you do." A blast of thunder rattled over the hut. Varjak frowned. He'd never heard anyone talk to him like this before. "What kind of cat are you?" he asked. "I'm asking the question, special cat," she said. She sounded disgusted. "Now tell me what you really do. Are you one of Ginger's gang, or are you with Sally Bones?" "Keep talking. That was the best thing to do." "I told you I'm a Mesopotamian Blue. We live on the hill." She sighed and tapped her claws on the floor. "Everyone knows there's no food up there. Even the gangs don't bother with it. Come on, tell me the truth. You must be with a gang, or a little cat like you'd be starving by now." Her words sent a shiver down Varjak's spine. How could she not know about the Contessa's house? This world outside and the world he came from seemed completely cut off from each other. "Listen," she said. "If you're so high and mighty, how come you're out in the park in a storm?" "I'm outside because I need to talk to a dog," he said. She stared at him as if she didn't understand. "Dogs are huge, noisy monsters," he explained. "I know what a dog is," she snapped. Then maybe she could help. "Do you know how to talk to them?" She scowled, like she couldn't believe what she was hearing. "I know it sounds strange," said Varjak, "but I've got to do it to save my family. They're in a lot of danger." The black and white cat laughed out loud. "He thinks he can talk to a dog." Even her laugh sounded like a crunch of gravel. Varjak scratched an itch under his collar. It felt uncomfortable. "What's that you're scratching?" she said. "My collar." "Collar?" A strange expression crossed her face, and then she seemed to relax. "Isn't that what pets wear?" Varjak peered at her own neck. She wore no collar. "Yes, now it makes sense," she said. You're just a pet cat who's got lost in the storm, aren't you? You're not in a gang. You don't know about the vanishings. You don't know anything about this city at all, do you?" Varjak almost denied it. Then he remembered his dream. One mind, the first skill. Only when you admit that you know nothing can you truly know anything. "All I know is that I need your help," he said quietly, "and I need a place to stay until the storm's over, and then I can go and find a dog." She looked into his eyes for a long time. The rain beat down relentlessly. "All right, pet cat," she said at last. "You can stay just till the rain stops and then you go. Understand?" Varjak smiled. "Thanks. Just don't talk to me about dogs, that's all," she muttered. They sat together in the darkness. Varjak was bursting with questions. Were there many other cats outside? What was these gangs and vanishings she kept talking about? And how exactly do you talk to a dog? There were so many things to understand, but the black and white cat was curled up into a spiky ball, and any more words would breach the invisible barrier she had made between them. The rain went on. Varjak shivered. He was cold and tired. His eyelids drooped. He tried to force them open, but they kept closing by themselves. It would be madness to fall asleep in a strange place with a strange cat, but he couldn't help it. He slept in his corner of the hut, still shivering as the rainwater and slime dripped from his muddy fur. And that's the end of chapter 9. Bye!